What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chef DA, and I'm coming to you on how to make eggs. As simple as that, just making eggs. That's probably one of the most things that people mess up all the time. You go to somebody's house and see their pan, see at the bottom it's all yellow, all the eggs are still in the pan, but you are actually eating eggs on your plate. Instead of having those eggs stick to the pan and be fried up, we're gonna make sure you guys know how to make those eggs and have it in your stomach and not in that pan. So this is how you make eggs. All right, guys, so we got 2 eggs right here, and because I'm a chef, I'm just going to teach you how to crack these eggs. I'm going to teach you guys how to crack these eggs like I would usually do it. So on the end of the surface, and it's cracked right here. It's cracked right here. What I usually do is find that with my finger and get as close as I can with both of these 2 fingers right here. So this finger and that finger. And this finger in front is, so this is what I'm doing, essentially. It looks almost like a moose knuckle. Anywho, but I'm gonna continue to crack it with my fingers, and I'm gonna separate. You know, I'm gonna crack it, continue to crack it with my hands, and then separate. I crack my eggs all the time. It's only because that's how I've been doing it all my life. Okay, not all my life. You gotta learn how to do that. That's not easy. But I have my spatula right here. I'm just gonna whisk these up. That's good enough. And now we're going to heat up this. I have this stop pan. I would usually make everything in my stop. But for these purposes, I know a lot of people will not have this in their house. But I'm gonna use my regular old Walmart non-stick pan. And the heat, I'm gonna put this heat on maybe medium. While pan is getting hot, because I do have one of these burners, I'm just gonna show you guys in this empty pan on what techniques you need to do to make those eggs look like they came from a restaurant. When you go to a restaurant, you usually get those eggs and they're nice and fluffy, nice and plump. And sometimes you go to someone's house, you get eggs, they're all just looking, doesn't look the same, is what I'm gonna say. But for the most part, just going to make sure, so at the end of the pans, you look for when it's starting to cook. You can tell the difference between when it's still raw and when it's cooking. On the edges, it's kind of like the egg whites. You can see it turning white. So what I usually do is start from the edges, the part that's cooking the most, and you scoot it to the middle. If this side looks like it's already cooked, you scoot that part to the middle. And once you scoot whatever's cooked to the middle, you pull your pan, and all the excess runny stuff that's not cooked, you put that in the place of the pan. Because essentially, when you oil that pan, if you oil it good, because I usually oil my pans or put clarified butter in there, not just a stick of butter, because that stick of butter still has that fat in there, and it'll usually burn depending on how you're cooking those eggs. But I usually just scoot everything to the middle. Literally just scoot it into the middle, and what that forms is that nice fluffy egg. But I think that's hot enough. Don't do that. My hands, I have kitchen hands, and I've done some things in my career that I regret doing, but in the crunch, sometimes you got burnt stuff. So I have oil. You don't have to use oil. You can just use however you make your eggs. I would say when you put butter in there, put a good amount of butter in there, enough to coat the whole pan. Just don't put a little stick of butter in there, because that's one thing that I believe when people eggs stick to the pans, they don't put enough oil or moisture in the pan to make those eggs not stick. So we're just gonna put just a little bit of oil in there. And one thing when you're cooking with oil expands. So that's one thing that you have to know what type of oil you're using. Like, all oils don't react the same way. Some oils have a high smoke point, like I think they say avocado has a high smoke point, and some have a low smoke point. So you can't use all oils for everything. But I'm gonna put these in the pan. So as you can see right here, in the middle of this pan is getting kind of white at the bottom, and that's essentially just saying that it's starting to cook. So as you see, I'm pushing everything to the middle, and you see how the pan is nice and clean right there. You're gonna wanna cover that with the stuff that's not cooked. So you just keep that process going, and none of the edges look like they're starting to cook, so I'm just gonna leave that on there for a couple more seconds. So, and another way to know if it's being cooked, if you move it and nothing's going, just look at that, scooting everything. And just fold it over. See, everything's coming off of that pan. So I got these eggs nice and done. So as you see on that pot, I can pretty much clean that bad boy. And you have your nice fluffy eggs. And just an example, I'm just going to clean that pan. Everything pretty much kind of like comes out. And this is your regular pan from Walmart. And that's how you make scrambled eggs. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.